bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. We are talking about nibbāna. So today we will learn also important aspect of important definition of nibbāna. So by using one sutta, Rohitassa Sutta. Rohitassa Sutta can be found in two places. One in Untitled. So before we talk about Rohitassa Sutta, so we need to know three types of the world. Number one, the world of beings. So we have a different type of beings, not only human beings and any living beings. And we have the world of existence. So as you all know that we have a 31 planes of existence. So actually, Bhikkhu Bodhi translate stellar world, because there are a lot of stars and galaxies, etc. So stellar world, saṅkhāra-loka. And the last one is very important, the world of formation, the world of formations, saṅkhāra-loka. Sorry. So today we will focus on the last one, the world of formation, and also number two, the world of existence. So the Deva, one of the Deva called Rohitassa, he questioned the Buddha in his mind, the world of using two types, number two and number three, the world of existence as well as the world of formation. Formation saṅkhāra. So actually, here also I will talk about a little bit about saṅkhāra. Saṅkhāra means conditioned things. Thing that is conditioned by causes. They arises because of conditions, and they are present for a while because of conditions. They disappear because of conditions. Just like our mind and our physical body, they are called saṅkhāra because they arises because of many conditions. Because of the food, your physical body survive. So actually, all these are saṅkhāra. So according to Abhidhamma, we have four ultimate realities. Four ultimate realities. Number one, consciousness. Consciousness is ultimate reality. It exists. And second one is a mental factor. Cetasika, mental factor, or mental states. Then the third one is the material phenomena, rupa, matters of material phenomena. So these are called ultimate realities. Among these four, consciousness, mental factor, and material phenomena, these are called saṅkhāra. Nibbāna is asaṅkhata. or asaṅkhata, unconditioned. Nibbāna is not conditioned by anything, any causes. Later, I think today we'll learn asaṅkhata also. So here, saṅkhāra means consciousness, citta, mental factor, cetasika, and material phenomena, rupa. So these three are conditioned by many causes. Because of causes, they arise and they disappear. It is a very important classification of the world, you know. Normally, what we talk about the world is number one and number two, the all of beings and the all of existence. But number three really talk. For that reason, actually in the Bhikkhu Body he used that is very significant teaching of the Buddha. The all of formation. Okay? In the Rohitasa Sutta, Yandeva called Rohitasa as the question to the Buddha. Is it possible, Venerable, by traveling, to know or to see or to reach the end of the world? By traveling, to know, to reach the end of the world, where one is not born, is not reborn. Actually, the Deva want to ask, is there any place to reach the end of the world? No death, no aging. And the Buddha answer, as to that end of the world, friend, where and it's not reborn, I say that it cannot be known, it cannot be seen, or it cannot be reached by traveling. We always say that nibbāna cannot be, nibbāna is not a place to go. You cannot travel to nibbāna. So this is a very important one, right? Very important sutta. I think you look at the suttas. The Buddha said that I say that it cannot be known, it cannot be seen and reached by traveling. Cannot go where there's no age, there's no path. Then the Yandeva, Rohitasa, became very happy and taught to the Buddha that it is wonderful, Venerable Sir. It is in the past, and he was a seer named Rohitasa. And he went to find out the end of the world. He can fly in the sky. Actually hits the speed of he can move as quickly as an arrow that passes the shade of the palmyra tree. You know palm trees. Maybe about one feet, right? The shade of the palmyra tree is only one feet. So if it's skillful, the speed of the arrow is so quickly that it can pass the shadow of the palmyra tree. It's very quick, very quick. And also hit one step to another. He said that from if he keep his foot in the Western Ocean, then another foot can go to Eastern Ocean. Very, very, within a second. You can see that, If we look at the description of the soda, so actually the seer, Rohitasa, can pass, one planet, our planet, he can go very fast. And he did that, he went to go into the world where there's no age, there's no death, there's no birth. And he has 100 years old. The whole 100 years, except eating time, sleeping time for a while, and he go with the psychic power. And he said that without reaching without having reached the end of the world, he died halfway. Even though he's 100 years old, even though he can go within a second, he can pass one planet to another, maybe within a few seconds. Said that. So there are a lot of planets, a lot of universe, a lot of galaxy in the world. So he traveled for 100 years, right? Without stopping. He just take a rest for a while, for eating, resting. Then so for that reason, the Buddha said that as to the end of the world, friend, on foot, right? On foot. Even such a psychic power, cannot go. So it is actually astounding if we study the suttas in the Pali Canon. So actually we Buddhists believe that there are countless universe, right? Countless universe and countless planets, suns and moons. Our universe will disappear because of the fire, because 7 suns will appear at the time. No living being will be, one cannot live. All will, So there are many Buddhas that have been appear in the world. So they are compared with the saint in the Ganges River. As many as more than as many as the saint in the Ganges River, cannot count. The Buddha have been appear in the world. The cosmology in Buddhist teachings. But of course, there are some something that does not meet, that does not, cannot be compared with the modern science. So if we look at this soda, traveling, and the Buddha said that, however, friend, I say that without having reached the end of the world. There is no making an end to suffering. Now the Buddha is talking the Buddha and the Deva talk about the all of existence, right? The all of existence. But here the Buddha said that, however, I say that without having reached the end of the world. But here the all means saṅkhāra-loka, the all of formation. There is no making an end to suffering. So it is, friend, in just this fathom height I made known the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to the cessation of the world. Actually, this sutta is very famous. So when we talk about Four Noble Truths, we also quote this sutta as well. If you want to find the end of the world, you cannot. It's stay truth, right? The scientists, they found out a lot of universe, countless universe, right? Countless, planet. It takes a lot of time even to go to Mars, which is very near to our planet. So, here the Buddha said that without knowing the end of the world, we cannot make any. In just fathom height carcass, this 8 feet body, endowed with the perception and mind that I made known. So that means this is the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to cessation of the world. Actually, this talk about the Noble Eightfold Path. Here, the world here is craving, and cessation of the world is nibbāna. And the way leading to cessation of the world is the Noble Eightfold Path. It talk about Four Noble Truths. And then later we'll this is from Bhikkhu Bodhi note. Rohitasa posed his question about the end of the world with the reference to stellar world sphere. Existence. But the Blessed One answered with the reference to the all of formation, saṅkhāra-loka, the all of formation. Here, the all of formation means consciousness, according to Abhidhamma, consciousness, a mental factor, and material phenomena. So they are saṅkhāra because they are conditioned by causes. Our body conditioned by many causes, because of food, because of weather, etc. Our mind also conditioned by many causes, because of weather. For that reason, mental and material phenomena, they are called saṅkhāra. So Rohitasa Deva asked the question, in the first answer, the Buddha also did the same thing with the reference to the all of existence. But the Buddha referred to the all of formation. The all of formation. Okay? So we'll study what is the all of formation. Paloka Dhamma Sutta from Samyutta Nikaya. Actually, we are not reading the whole work. You cannot digest what I'm talking. So actually, if I read the Sutta here, cannot finish. For that reason, repeatedly I told you to read the Sutta before you came. This homework, right? This homework is very important, I think. If you read the Sutta before you came, you understand what I say clearer. Actually, chapter 35 talk about 6 things business. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and mind. 6 sense business. And also outside object, the form, the sound, smell, taste, touch, and mind object. The question to the Buddha, Venerable Sir, it is said, the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, it is said, the world? What is the world? Loka. And the Buddha said that wherever it subject to disintegration, Paloka Dhamma, Ananda is called the world. In the noble one's discipline. So that means in the Buddhism. What is Loka? Loka means disintegration. Whatever is subject to impermanence. Actually here, the topic of, especially in the Samyutta Nikaya, you will find a lot of places that focus the teachings of impermanence. So if we understand the nature of impermanence, then almost all our suffering will be wiped out. This is very important, right? Before I already said that devoted that if someone realize the nature of impermanence, important teachings. Also, chapter 35 that talk about 6 sin species. It's also most Sutta will talk about the nature of impermanence. It's so important to take the changes in our life. The changes are happening all the time, right? In our family, in our job, in your surrounding, the changes are because of lack of wisdom or understanding. But here also, if you look at the definition of the world, I think you can understand. Based on the impermanence, Ananda is called the world in Buddhism. What is subject to disintegration? The I. Body, the mind, 6 sin species. Actually, in the nibbāna originations, we have learned that because of ignorance and saṅkhāra arises. Because of mind and matter. Because of mind and matter, 6 sin species. Very important. You must know that. So here, the Buddha defined the definition of loka, or the world. Actually, this is the world of formation. The Buddha said that the I is subject to And because of I and form, I consciousness arises. The meeting of the three is called I contact. Because of contact, feeling arises. Actually, teachings are connected each other. I think at the end of this class, you will realize that all the teachings are connected each other. Here, consciousness, eye contact, feeling are subject to impermanence. They arise and they disappear. So this is actually something that is subject to disintegration is called the world, right? So that means, according to this soda, eye, ear, nose, forms, the sounds, the smells, the taste, and touch, a minor object. They are the world. Because of those 6 sense bases, because of those objects, and consciousness will arise. Consciousness also the world. So these are the world. Actually, I think if you look at the note, I think it will be quite clearer. For the time being, you just take note that the all of formation me, our 6 sense bases. Phenomena will arises. So these are called the world. And just look at the Bhikkhu Bodhi note. Bhikkhu Bodhi give the definition, give a very beautiful note regarding with the world. So he said that the world is identified with the 6 sense bases. So here the world means 6 sense bases. Because they are the necessary internal conditions for experience. You can hear with the ear. So these are necessary internal conditions for experience. And that's for the presence of evil. So you can see surrounding area because of your eye, no? You can hear, you can recognize. So these are internal conditions. 6 sense bases are internal conditions for experience. So for the presence of bases, and we will also quote another soda, Lokanda Gamana soda, going the entire the world. The soda me going the entire the world. Page number chapter 35, page soda number 116. This is a very very beautiful soda. The name of the soda is going to the end of the world. And the Buddha said that, Bhikkhus, I say that the end of the world cannot be known, cannot be seen and reached by traveling. Yet, Bhikkhus, I also say that without reaching the end of the world, there is no making an end to suffering. But here, after talking this, the Buddha left the place. So actually the monks, they do not understand what the Buddha said. Because the Buddha just say in brief. So we cannot reach the end of the world by traveling, but without reaching the end of the world, we cannot make an end of suffering. So actually this is very philosophical. Refer to the world of existence. The next one, without reaching the end of the world, we cannot make an end of suffering. It refers to the world of formation. Without, reaching the end of the world of formation. So that means 6 sense species. Without reaching the end of 6 sense species, you cannot make an end of suffering. That is what the Buddha said, what the Buddha wanted to say. But the Buddha just said in brief, and he left the place, and the monks who are listening the Dhamma talk, they bewilder that they do not know what the Buddha want to say. And they approach to the Venerable Ananda and ask for help, that they can you explain the detailed explanation of the Buddha teaching. Then Venerable Ananda said, synopsis as follow. Actually, this is a explanation of Venerable Ananda. That in the world, by which one is a perceiver of the world, a conceiver of the world. This is called the world in the Noble One's discipline. In the world, by which one is perceiver and conceiver of the world. That is called the world in the Noble One discipline. And he further said that, what is it? The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind are that in the world by which one is a perceiver of the world and understand. So yeah, what I want to highlight is Venerable Ananda also define the meaning of loka, of the world, by using the world through these 6 internal bases. Then Bhikkhu Bodhi explained this one. As long as the 6 sense bases persist, you have eye, ear, etc., a world will always be separate range of perception and cognition. But here perception. So as far as we have a 6 sense bases, eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, and a world will always be separate out before us. If we do not have ear sensitivity, we cannot hear the sound. You cannot sit down here, right? If you do not have eye, you cannot see the projector. If you have lack of sensitivity, you cannot experience, right? Some people cannot experience with their eye, but they can experience with their ear, etc., right? Etc. So he at the world because they are internal condition to experience outside object, right? Outside object. Here, the objective range of perception. In Abhidhamma, we call it sañña. And cognition. Cognition is the consciousness, according to the mind. talk about the mind. Because we have a six sense basis, because of that we can experience outside object with our mind. Thus, one cannot reach the end of the world. He flying through the sky to find out the end of the world, but without reaching the end of the world halfway, and he died. One cannot reach the end of the world by traveling. 4. Wherever one goes, along the six sense basis, which necessarily disclose a wall, a standard on all sides. There is no place where you cannot experience the world. Of course, you can reduce. If you close your eye, so that means we cannot read the end of the world by traveling. Wherever we go, then outside object will display in our mind. Nevertheless, by reversing the direction of the search, it is possible to read the end of the world. But here, now we are talking about the end of the world, means the whole of formation. Now we are going to talk about the whole of formation. Instead of looking outside, then we look at inside. For that reason, the Buddha said that in this fathom long carcass, he made known the end of the world, right? So that means end of the world. For if the world ultimately stems from six sense basis, if they arise from the six sense basis, then by bringing an end to the six sense basis, it is possible to arrive at the end of the world. How to end the six sense basis? The end of the world cannot be reached by traveling, but it can be arrived at by cultivating the Noble Eightfold Path. So that means you cannot go the end of the world by traveling, but if you practice the Noble of the world, perfect development of the path bring about the eradication of ignorance and craving. So that means if you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you will be able to eradicate ignorance and craving. So ignorance and craving are the and with their removing the underlying ground. So here the underlying ground means ignorance and craving is removed for the renewed emergence of the six sense basis, and therewith ignorance and craving. So that will be your consciousness cannot establish a new life. If there is no consciousness, there will be no nama rupa, mind and matter. If there is no mind and matter, there will be no six sense basis. No ignorance and craving, there is no saṅkhāra. No saṅkhāra, no consciousness. No consciousness, no nama rupa, mind and matter. No nama rupa, no six sense basis. If there's no six sense basis, there's no way to experience the world. So that will be the end of And 3 types of the world, you cannot understand this sutta. Actually, this sutta is very often quoted to talk about Four Noble Truths. Then Bhikkhu already give a note. Commentary of Saṅkhata Nikaya globes Loka, the world, with to the suffering. Each of the other terms by way of the other 3 noble truths. The world here means suffering, and craving, the origin of the world, and nibbāna, the cessation of the world. The Noble Eightfold Path, the way that lead to cessation of the world. Commentary said that. Actually, that is not what the sutta say, what the commentary say. I do not make known these 4 truths, 4 noble truths, in external things, like a grass, wood, but right here in this body, composed of the 4 great elements. This is very beautiful. Normally, we look outside to find happiness. Here, the world means 6 internal senses. So if you want to the end of the world, you have to look at inside. You have to remove ignorance and craving. If you remove ignorance and craving, then there's no suffering. That's not the world, right? Not the world, no suffering. It's important to look at inside. For that reason, Buddhism always takes much attention outside, because outside object are the nature of members will die one day. Your things are also subject to impermanence. If you do not understand the nature of impermanence, then if you encounter with the changes in your life, suffering will follow, right? Suffering will follow. Instead of looking outside, look at inside. Inside, whether you have defilements in your mind. If you do not have ignorance and craving, then there will be no suffering. On the way to the Buddha preached the first sermon, and a group of 5 monks became arahant. Sotapanna. Then after that, second sermon became arahant, and the Buddha also have another. Then he told them to propagate his teachings, and he himself will go to Uruvela. But on the way, he met with a group of princes, and who are searching and came to the forest to enjoy or picnic. One of them doesn't have a wife. Then they hire a corgi. So when they are playing around, that corgi stole all the things. They look, and the Buddha talk about look inside, don't look outside. And they became Sotapanna after listening the Dharma, Then after that, they requested to become a monk. They look inside. The Buddha in that discourse, the Buddha said, look inside. Look yourself, search yourself. exists outside. Do you agree? It exists inside. Even though you have a lot outside, sometimes you're not happy, right? Unhappy. So of course, outside object will help. Most important thing is your mind, right? Mind. For that reason, happiness does not exist outside, but inside. Inside. Any question up to now? Do you understand? Roy as a soda. He went to go the end of the world by traveling, but halfway he died. The Buddha said, cannot go the end of the world because countless universe, right? Countless universe. But the Buddha said, by referring to the wall of formation, you cannot make an end of suffering. So that means don't look at outside, look at inside. So the end of suffering exists in this long body. Only in your body, you know? Not outside. Okay, no question. I assume that you understand. Regarding with the world, I want to quote Satipatthana Sutta. It's very, very important lines from the Satipatthana Sutta. Not clinging to anything in the world. Not clinging to anything in the world. Here, clinging. It's very important, clinging. As you all know that feeling, mind, and phenomena. So every, how to say, at the end of every foundations, very important. They are very important. Important instructions by the Buddha. And the Buddha said that mindfulness that there is body. There is body is simply established in him to the extent necessary for bare knowledge and repeated mindfulness. Very profound teachings. When you are practicing breathing meditation, when breathing in, there is breath, in breath. When you're breathing out, you just know that, you just mindful that there is breathing out, how to say, out breathing, out breath, out. Define that breathing as you. Just bare knowledge. So when you are breathing in, just bare knowledge, just bare understanding, there is in breath. When you're breathing out, just bare out breath. That's all. Pure mindfulness and pure knowledge, bare knowledge. So when you meditate, don't think about anything. Just be mindful that there is breathing. So when we talk about there's no passing, right? No passing. I think when we learn the Noble Eightfold Path, we'll come back later in detail. For the time being, I just want to highlight, this is in Pali, Atikayo Tiwa Panasa Sati Pachapatu very important. Jnana Mata, bare knowledge, bare noting, bare knowing, bare knowing. If you're breathing in, just know that you're breathing in. When you're breathing out, you just know that you're no thinking anything. No thinking anything. Jnana Matthaya, Patisati Matthaya. But here, what I want to highlight is here, and he dwells independent, not clinging to anything in the world. Anisitocha viharati, not seed, independent. Actually, we have learned earlier, right? Independent. So for those who depend, there is shaking and wavering. If you do not depend on anything, no shaking. You are stable. You are stable, right? If you depend on many outside objects, instabilities. So here, independent me, you don't have any clinging, you don't have any craving toward anything, outside or inside, even your own body. If there's no clinging toward the object, then you are independent. If you are independent, you have a stability. Your life will be with a lot of clinging and craving. Because of that, they are dependent on. They are dependent. For those who are dependent, wavering or shaking. Only if you are independent. Independent here means you can still use the object, but without clinging, without craving. You can still see the sound, not the music, of course. Music can create your mind deluded. You can hear the sound without, even though you hear the sound without clinging. You are independent. If you are independent, you encounter with the changes, then you have a stability of the mind. But here, he dwells independent. So here, independent means not clinging to anything in the world. No clinging in the world. But here, Vibhanga text, second Abhidhamma text, defines loka means 5 aggregates of clinging. So actually earlier in the suttas, we learned that 6 sin species of the world, but here define the word loka, the word the world, in terms of 5 aggregate. They are the same. They are the same. Right? So here, 5 aggregate material phenomena, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. So actually, they are the same, whether you call it 5 aggregate or 6 sin species. That is, they are the same. So 5 aggregate are subject to disintegration. 6 sin species, the same thing, disintegration, subject to change, and subject to impermanence. For that reason, they are called the world. The world here means 5 aggregate or clinging. Commentary also follow the same definition, because I think when we look at 4 foundations of mindfulness, the first one is body, right? The body is physical one. Feeling is one of the aggregate, right? For that reason, the way Abhidhamma define the word loka also according with maybe this the definition of the world in according with the soda, many sodas. So that means the world means six internal bases, right? Because of eye, we can experience the world. Because of ear, then we can experience the object. So when you want to make the world or the into suffering, don't look at outside, look at inside. Any question? I think this is very important teachings, very important teachings. Normally, when we talk about the world, we just refer to outside things, right? We forgot about this, our body, our eye, etc. In one of the sutta, the Buddha said that he will talk about the all. The all here means eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and the mind, and also form, song, etc. So actually, when we talk about these 6 internal and external bases, it includes everything, right? The definition of the world is very. When we are seeing, when we are hearing, right? If we are mindfulness and clear comprehension, there's no place for ignorance and craving. If there's no craving and ignorance, there's no suffering. So that will be the end of suffering or the end of the world. Please use microphone.
Oh, sorry. Bhante, I just want to ask, what is the relationship between this saṅkhāra-loka, the world of formations, with the other 2 worlds, the world of existence?
Okay, very good.
Yeah. This ever material world.
Yeah.
But in the terms of the second world, the stellar world, is probably something beyond other planet or something like that?
Yeah, you're right. For that reason, if we look at outside, actually, we cannot read the end. Intellect scientists. Because of that, we know many things, right? Many things. So actually, like other planet, universe, and galaxy, sun, moon, all these belong to the world of existence. They exist. And also at the same time, they can be the world of formation as a physical body, physical things. And the world of being, the sentient living beings living on the. Actually, it's when we talk about the plane of existence, but of course at the same time, it includes everyone. Human beings, living beings as well. But for easy to understand, especially Abhidhamma define 3 types of the world. So actually here, regarding with the world of being, all living being, they have, at the same time, they are living in the world of formation. The world of formation here means mental and physical phenomena, mind and the body. So they are connected each other. But the Buddha, in the case of this sutta, the Buddha want to highlight the last one. The last one is the most important. The last one is the most important. If we look at outside, if we look at the all of existence, 31 planes of existence, and other universes, I think we cannot make the into our problem, the into our right at the soda. If you want to make an into suffering, look at the inside. You can make the into suffering in this Phadalong body, Phadalong carcass. So here, abandon craving, whatever you see, whatever you hear, they will not make you any problem. So there are three, the world are okay. Let's continue to study. This one also from Udana Pali, the discourse connected with the nibbāna. Unborn. So actually these suttas are very difficult. If you do not understand, don't worry, because I hope that you already understand the definition of nibbāna, right? You understand? Very simple way, right? Trying to extinguish craving. Lobha dosa moha. That's definition of nibbāna. If you understand that definition, more than enough. But these are further definition, very profound one. Achāda, unborn. The Buddha said that there is means an unborn achāda, asaṅkhata, unconditioned asaṅkhata. Do you understand? No, difficult, There is. So that means nibbāna really exists. Nibbāna is ultimate realities. But it is not, it's not born. It's not become. It's not made. It's not conditioned. If means there were no unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned, became made, conditioned. So that means if there is no nibbāna, there is no place for from what is born, no? But because there is an unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned, therefore an escape is descent. What is born, became, made, unconditioned. So this is a very short sutta, also difficult one, but we have to even commentary explanation does not help you, don't worry. I also I cannot appreciate fully, Buddha, asaṅkhata, asaṅkhata are synonymous one another. Unlike feeling, this is a commentary explanation. Unlike feeling and other mental and physical phenomena, it has not been process and conditions. For that reason, nibbāna is called unborn. If you have ignorance, you will have a saṅkhāra. You will do good and bad deed. Because of saṅkhāra, you have a consciousness in the new life, right? Then you were born. So saṅkhāra are the condition, and nibbāna is not conditioned by causes, any causes and any conditions. For that reason, it's called clinging. If there's no craving, if there's no clinging, that means the moment Arahant and the Buddha died, there's no clinging. If there's no clinging, so the death consciousness in normal passing, the moment you die, if you do not cling to anything, if there's no clinging, no existence. So you are, that consciousness cannot establish in a new existence. So in that way, if there's no consciousness or rebirth-linking consciousness, so for that reason, nibbāna is called ajada or unborn, right? So there's no condition. Here, condition here means clinging, craving. The next one, even though there isn't any conditions or causes, people may think that nibbāna might stay has become solely on its own accord. And it will become by itself. People might think that. So to dispel such notion, wrong view, and the Buddha says, the word unbecome, Buddha. Nibbāna is not conditioned by anything. Normally, we can give, the nearest example of happiness, right? Happiness exists, but you cannot say where happiness is, right? Is happiness no, cannot, right? But our normal happiness is conditioned by many causes. If the weather is not good, our happiness is gone, right? If somebody says something, our happiness is gone, destroyed, So happiness, normal happiness, you cannot indicate where nibbāna is, but it really exists. But nibbāna happiness, not conditioned by causes. Even people are blaming you. You are nibbāna happiness, not conditioned. Always blissful with the bliss of nibbāna. Always happy. Even though the weather is not good, okay. You are nibbāna happiness, no condition, right? Unconditioned. But you cannot say where nibbāna is, right? Unconditioned, but it exists. Conditions, it really exists, right? But people might think that is nibbāna become by itself? No. For that reason, the Buddha say, unbecome, unbecome. Then next one, on account of being unborn and unbecome, it does not whatsoever. Nibbāna is not created by the Buddha. Nibbāna is not created by the Brahma or God. It exists. It's not created. It's not made by anyone or any causes. uncreated. The mental and material phenomena, nama rupa, are of the nature of arising, the nature of becoming, the nature of being born, the nature of creation. If they are conditioned by causes and by many causes, because of your family members, because you passed the exam, like this, right? Your happiness created. But nibbāna is not like this, not created. It exists. It exists. In the conditioned nature, nibbāna is called asaṅkhata, the unconditioned, not conditioned by any causes. It exists. It exists. Saṅkhāra, conditioned. Our mind, our mental factor, our physical body, an outside object, very strong, but conditioned by the weather, right? Is deteriorating, right? Deteriorating. Nibbāna is not like that. Nibbāna, happiness, not conditioned by any causes. If somebody attain nibbāna, they are the bliss of nibbāna, their happiness, nibbāna happiness, not conditioned by any causes, right? Even though they are staying with the people, unpleasant people, their nibbāna happiness is not conditioned because of that. Element that is not conditioned by causes, such as karma. Karma means action of other people or action of yourself. Or mind, weather, food, etc. So these are the conditions. So not conditioned by any causes and any conditions. For that reason, it is called unconditioned. Unconditioned state. Unconditioned state. That talk about the nature of saṅkhāra. What is saṅkhāra? What is saṅkhāra? Because the saṅkhāra have a different context. But according to this one, saṅkhāra means, according to Abhidhamma, consciousness, mental factor, and matter, rupa. Cheta, cetasika, rupa. That is saṅkhāra. But in this sutta, the Buddha said that bhikkhus, so there are the three characteristics that define the conditioned. What is saṅkhāra? The Buddha gave three criteria. Number one, is seen. It arises. If vanishing, it's seen. Vanishing or disappear. Its alteration, why it persists, it's seen. It persists for a while, but it's deteriorating, altering. That one of the scholars put forward an idea in the conference that in Abhidhamma we have a three mind moment, right? Our consciousness, our mental factor or the mind arises and stay for a while, titi, then disappear. But that professor said that in suttas, there's only two moments, arising and passing away. There's no such a thing as a titi or staying for a while, staying for a while. But we have many soda, just like Abhidhamma said, right? But here, arising, and vanishing, and alteration while it persists. Actually, alteration, changing and decay, and stay in the present mode, stay for a while, right? Even the lifespan of consciousness or mental factor, 3 sub-moment. 3 sub-moment. Arising, stay for a while, and persist with it. Another sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number Buddha, Venerable Sariputta, and the Buddha talk about how Venerable Sariputta became arahant in that sutta. And Venerable Sariputta, when he was contemplating, he trying to achieve the first jhana. The nature of jhana factor, how they arise, how they disappear, and how they exist for a while. Arises, stay for a while, and disappear. He contemplate the nature of jhana factor. So in that way, then from the first jhana to second, third, etc., at the end he became arahant. So actually, there are many sutta that talk about 3 sub-moment, lifespan of the mental factor. Born, right? That's arising. One day, we will die. But in between a lot. That's the physical body. The lifespan of physical body is longer than the lifespan of that of consciousness, right? Scholars tend to reject what the Abhidhamma said because they do not have they understand the sutta, they will understand teachings of Abhidhamma. In the suttas, we have 4 jhana, right? Abhidhamma, we have 5 jhana. But in the sutta, in some sutta itself, we can find the traces of 5 jhana. 5 jhana. Don't reject what is found in the Abhidhamma. Whether you believe Abhidhamma is not teachings of the Buddha or teachings of Venerable Sariputta, etc., doesn't matter. But we have to value Abhidhamma and meditation are linking each other, Coming Sunday, I will talk about it. In the Sunday school, connection between Abhidhamma and meditation, why they are linking, 3 characteristics. If something has the nature of arising, and the nature of vanishing, the nature of alteration when they persist, that is saṅkhāra. Our mind, right? And the nature of decay or alteration when it persists. For that reason, it's called saṅkhāra. What is asaṅkhata or asaṅkhāra? The Buddha said, bhikkhus, there are these 3 characteristics that define the unconditioned, asaṅkhata. No arising, no vanishing, it ceases. No alteration, while it persists, it ceases. asaṅkhata is nothing but nibbāna. Nibbāna. No arising. But there is one thing that is similar to asaṅkhata, unconditioned. That is concept. Paññatti doesn't have the nature of arising, the nature of vanishing, the nature of alteration. But paññatti concept is not called as the asaṅkhata. Not called asaṅkhata. Asaṅkhata is a special term, a technical term for the nibbāna, right? Nibbāna. The nature of vanishing and the nature of alteration while it persists. For that reason, it's called asaṅkhata. Nibbāna is called asaṅkhata because it's not conditioned by Then today we will learn asaṅkhata saṅyota. I already sent off my how to say the sodas to you. I suppose you already forgot. Long time ago I already sent this one. Next week we will finish about nibbāna, this topic. But I'm thinking to send out one soda. Stay thinking. Asaṅkhata saṅyota. Asaṅkhata saṅyota mentions 33 epithets practices that lead to nibbāna. Very important chapter in Samyutta Nikāya. So in this chapter, we can find synonyms of nibbāna. 33 synonyms of nibbāna. If you want to attain nibbāna, there are 56 ways and methods to go to nibbāna. There are many ways, right? So what we know is 37 requisites of enlightenment. Bodhipakkhya, right? What we know is bodhipakkhiyas are the method or the traditional name, traditional name. So these 37 requisites of enlightenment are among the 56, not only 37. Recently, one of the devotees asked me, is there any way to go to nibbāna? In Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said, there's only one way to go to nibbāna. There's only one way to go to nibbāna. And that devotee asked me, is there any became enlightened by just listening for a while, right? I say, no, there's only one way. Mindfulness. So even though we have a 56 method of the practices, the key point here is mindfulness. Without mindfulness, you're gonna go to nibbāna. Only through mindfulness. Heedfulness or mindfulness is the way to deathless. Amata, deathless, is nothing but nibbāna. The way to nibbāna. Actually, the way to mindfulness or heedfulness is the way to nibbāna. There's only one way, is mindfulness. For that reason, whatever method you use, you can use any method as long as it develops your mindfulness. Not the case. The method is not the case. You can follow any method as long as clear comprehension. That will be eco practice. So there are many methods. You can follow any method, right? Any method. But the main point here is mindfulness. Mindfulness. So in the actually, asaṅkhata saṅyutta, and the Buddha said that what is asaṅkhata? And what bhikkhus is the incantation, asaṅkhata? In other words, what is nibbāna? What is nibbāna? And the Buddha said that the distraction of lust, raga, the distraction of hatred, moha, this is called the incantation, or this is called nibbāna. Actually, we have learned, right? What is nibbāna? The distraction of lust, hatred, and delusion. That's nibbāna. So every teachings are connected, right? So of course, in previous sutta, talk about the nature of asaṅkhata, but this sort of talk about what is asaṅkhata, or that's nibbāna. You can experience in this very life. You cannot bring to next life. You don't need to bring to nibbāna in next life, right? In this life, in this very life. The more you can reduce the amount of fire of lobha, dosa, moha, then the more you are closer to nibbāna. It's quite, quite rational, logical. Raga viraga manincha masokan Dhamma ma saṅkhata ma patikulan. Here I highlighted this one, asaṅkhata. This is the quality of the Dhamma. We are chanting the quality of the Dhamma. So these are passion me, raga, without desire, the lobha, attachment, without grief, unconstructed. Actually, I be honor translated unconstructed. Unconditioned. Normally we use synonym of nibbāna. So let's talk about asaṅkhata saṅyutta. As I earlier said that we can find 37 synonyms of the nibbāna in this. But later we are not reading asaṅkhata saṅyutta, but I will go one by one. So we have many synonyms of nibbāna. We'll go one by one. But in this asaṅkhata saṅyutta, that produce mindfulness. And through mindfulness, you have concentrations. And through concentrations, you will realize that they really are. You will realize liberated from negative mental state. If you are liberated, you attain nibbāna. Liberation is another synonym of the nibbāna, right? Nibbāna. But in this sutta, the Buddha said that in the first sutta, mindfulness directed to the body. So if you are mindful to your body, and also 5 great elements, etc. in the Noble, in the Satipatthana Sutta, we have to learn in details. So in the first Sutta, the Buddha talk about mindfulness directed to the body. And second Sutta, samatha and vipassana, serenity and insight are the method to lead to nibbāna. That lead we can find that Sutta is with the thought and examination, vitakka and vichara, right? In this Sutta, I will read out, because in Abhidhamma, we have 5 jhana, right? 5 jhana. In the Sutta, there's only 4 jhana. 4 jhana. But by looking at this Sutta, we can learn. We can find the traces of and what bhikkhus is the path leading to the unconditioned. Concentration samadhi with the thought. Examination of vichara, vitakka vichara. Concentration with the vitakka and vichara. Concentration, number 2. Concentration without thought, without vitakka. We talk about second jhana, no? Second jhana in Abhidhamma. Concentration or jhana without vitakka, but with the vichara. The next one is concentration without thought and examination. So in this Sutta, the concentration is similar to samatha. Concentration similar to jhana. When we learn the Noble Eightfold Path, you will know that concentration, samadhi, is defined as a 4 concentrations. So this is the method to lead to go to nibbāna or to go to unconditioned asaṅkhata nibbāna. Number 1, concentration or samadhi with vitakka and vichara. Second, concentrations with the next one is higher. Concentrations without vitakka as well as vichara. If you look at this Sutta, we can understand that even the Suttas, we can find the traces of 5. First jhana is together with vitakka vichara. Second jhana without vitakka, but with the vichara. And the third one without them, without vitakka and vichara. But we can see, right? Don't blame Abhidhamma. No, what I want to say, it's important, it's important. If I have to choose only one I want to say Pitaka. We have 3 Pitaka, right? Vinaya, Suttas, and Abhidhamma. I would choose Sutta. I would throw away the rest. Right? Choose the rest. What I want to say is Sutta Pitaka. Abhidhamma is very, very important because it talks about the nature of our mind, the nature of our body, the nature of our bodies. For that reason, even if it is very valuable, a treasure of our Buddhist teachings, right? So, okay. let's talk about synonyms on nibbāna. Is there any question up to now? Okay.
Bhante, what's the difference between equanimity and dispassion?
Equanimity?
And dispassion.
Oh,
Dispassion.
dispassion. Okay, very good question. Last. Another one without lobha. So when you see something, there's no attachment or there's no lust. But of course, it's equal to equanimity. Another in Visuddhimagga, mention about 10 type of Chalingupikha. Chalingupikha means we should practice equanimous feeling toward the six objects. When we see something, our mind must be equanimous. Equanimity. When we hear something, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, we try to practice equanimity. Our mind is not moved. Or somebody say bad things, your mind is not moved. Balance, equanimous feeling. And also, when you eat something, when you smell something, when you touch something, when you think something with your mind, and we practice equanimous feeling or stability of the mind. Normally, our mind is not stable when we hear pleasant or unpleasant. We cannot practice equanimous feeling. Actually, in the Anguttara Nikāya, the 6th chapter, the first sutta, you can write on. Anguttara Nikāya chapter 6, the first sutta, talk about but in that sutta, the Buddha used 2 terms together. Sorry, 3 terms together. 3 terms together. Number 1, mindfulness, sato. Number 2, number 1 is number 2, mindfulness. Number 3, clear comprehension. When we see and think something, we have to be very mindful, and we must have a clear comprehension what is happening. Clearly understand, right? Then a very stable, equanimous feeling. Such quality can be achieved only arahant. But we can imitate, we can copy. Equanimity, right? So if we study that sutta, equanimity is similar to dispassion. No passion, even though you see good things or maybe bad things. But of course, dispassion will be you hear a pleasant sound, even though you are eating good food, even though you experience good smell, a good touch and good thinking. Then no passion. So in that sense, equanimity here means one of the equanimity among the 10, Chalingupikha. Equanimous feeling regarding with the six six sense species. So they are similar. Okay, question?
Yeah, because earlier on, you don't cling to it, so you have that kind of don't feel you need to cling to it. To
Yeah.
me, is you will have the first mindfulness, then when after mindfulness, then you realize that you try not to cling to it, and you have that kind of feeling, and ultimately you develop a kind of
This graduate path. One of the scholar from England, he's very famous, John Peacock. He write a good book about Buddhism, and he said that the nearest 10 nibbāna is equanimity. If you practice equanimity is a equanimate feeling in regard to six senses. We learn how to say the stages of purification. Then you also have to learn upekkha, the last stages in upekkha. Kinka, actually I forgot the name. We have to learn. Stage by stages. And the last one is regarding with the equanimity. Only we can practice equanimate feeling, then we can attain nibbāna. Otherwise, we cannot. For that reason, even though we have a different terms, they are linking.
Now,
Yeah.
you are not talking about neutral feeling, because neutral feeling, the underlying tendency is ignorance. You're not talking about ignorance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're right. So we have a 10 type of equanimity. And then you can look at in Visuddhimagga. Very beautiful. For that reason, even now I think for you easier to read. Normally, when we are learning different type of meditation, then I will quote Visuddhimagga, because in certain meditation objects are difficult, so we have to refer to Visuddhimagga. So Visuddhimagga is the most important commentaries that define teachings of the Buddha. Okay.
Is there time for another question?
Maybe one more
Yeah.
question.
Okay, you mentioned that nibbāna and concept pāññāti are asaṅkhata. They're unconditioned.
No, I didn't say concept and pāññāti. Timeless. Timeless means there's no arising, no alteration, no passing away. Nibbāna and pāññāti, according to Abhidhamma, are timeless. There's no future. There's no past, no future, no present. Timeless. Kala vimoda. The nature of cessation, the nature of alteration when they possess. So, for that reason, they don't have time. No past, no future, no present. They really exist, but the difference between concept and nibbāna is nibbāna asaṅkhata, unconditioned. But pāññāti or concept is not called asaṅkhata. It's create, Panyati does not exist. Our mind created, is creation of the mind.
So, concept does not have the nature of arising and ceasing.
Yeah.
But concept is a mental formation. It is a saṅkhāra, isn't it?
Oh, no. It's not a and physical phenomena. Just concept because of our mind, mind created names and images. They are not, they do not exist. So they do not have the nature of arising and passing away, alteration, point they persist. But they are not called asaṅkhata. But they have panyati had the nature of asaṅkhata, because panyati is in the nature of time, the nature of time. They are very similar. The thing is, nibbāna is ultimate realities. It really exists. But panyati is not ultimate reality. We call it samudhi. We have the name, Mangala Vihara. That name is concept. Because but tomorrow, let's change another name. Then many of you agree on that. The name Mangala Vihara will change. It does not exist. It does not exist.
So concept is not a saṅkhāra as in a mental formation, not in that sense. It's a samudhi.
Yes, samudhi. Yeah.
Okay, I learned something new. Thank you.
Okay, this is very about synonyms of nibbāna. Then after that, we'll finish this topic. And following weeks, we'll talk about the Noble Eightfold Path. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagavagata kecho paragato bala vidya samangi Tan sukatan sarana viragama ninchama soka dhamma masaṅkhata mapatikulan Marurami mambagunan suwipatan dhamma upemi yatājade namaha palamahu Chatusu susisu purisayugesu Attaca bogala dhammata sate Saṅkhā mimaṁ saranatamupe mi Sadhu